with my husband.
Welcome back to Marketing with my husband and Eddie and coffee this morning.
Keeps adding and adding. Eddie and coffee. Eddie looks very cute. He's not moving at all.
I feel like he's really assumed his position in the podcast today. Like, I feel like all I had to say was like, come on, Eddie, downstairs. And he just like came down, sat on my lap, and he's like, we're doing this thing where there's a guy in our house, filming mum and dad. All right, we can do this.
He's very cute. He's such a great addition to the podcast.
He really is. Do you want to kick it off with a recommendation for the week?
Recommendation straight into it. Yep, I'm going to start with golf. So 12 months ago, I never played a single round of golf. Well, if I did, it was very at a driving range trying to whack the crap out of it. But the last 12 months, my family get together once a month, just the 4 guys, my brother, my pop, my uncle. And it's like a great way for us to catch up. And we're slowly getting better at golf.
Are you all getting better?
We're all getting a little bit better. Our scores are getting a little bit better, but it's still abysmal. If anyone wants to ask me what my score is, it's terrible. But highly recommend it. It's very therapeutic. It takes a couple of hours, sometimes 3 to 4 hours. Lunch afterwards. Got to do it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I wish I'd be invited to Fairly Golf.
You will not be invited.
My recommendation for the week is to go on a trip to Melbourne. We were in Melbourne last week, and I love how I said that too. Go on a trip to Melbourne. But
so easily.
we were in Melbourne last week, and Melbourne, we have not been in 16 years. Well, I haven't. I think you were about
the same.
12, 16. But for us, I just think Melbourne was amazing. I love traveling to different parts of Australia and seeing how they do things. But Melbourne just felt so eclectic. It had so many beautiful vibes, laneways, art, food. My recommendation, I would say, maybe not go on a trip to Melbourne, but go on a trip. Just go on something small, a little staycay where you just get to experience something different.
What did you take away from Melbourne?
Their customer service. I took away their customer service for sure. I feel like even their hospitality workers, their shopkeep workers, like no matter what it was, they were super proud about what they did. And I just love that. I feel like I want to walk into your shop. You're going to make me, I'm also a consumer at heart. So you're going to make me want to buy something if you're nice to me, if you treat me with respect, if you're proud of your product.
And they did make you buy things.
And they made me buy a few things. So it's their fault.
Should we get into it?
We should. What are we talking about today?
Today is all about what we've done in the last 12 months, the journey at Ray White AKG, which has been...
I know, we're coming up to our 12-month anniversary in is it a week?
Yep.
I think it's like a week was our 12-month anniversary.
Which is very exciting because we look back, and I'm actually really excited about this subject. Obviously, a lot of our audience is people within real estate or around the real estate industry. And we've put a lot of time and effort into this, a lot of sleepless nights. We've treated it like it's our own business in a sense. We've just, I guess you've taken on head of agent services, myself, head of growth. So it's like together we're sort of combined roles, but not really at the same time.
We say we're kind of like, we're not the same person, but we can assist each other in the same sort of roles. I think that's what you get when you take on a husband and wife duo. I think that has run a business together before, that lives and breathes what they do, that really strive for success. I think you're kind of becoming our epicenter of everything we know and everything we strive for. So I'd say it's been a massive 12 months. And also the amount of people we've taken on. I think it's so cool. When I walked into the office yesterday, after being away, I kind of walked in and I was like, it's pretty cool. I was like, there's 12 people here that are all amazing at what they do. And it comes a long way, I think, from starting, if we go, all the way back to starting when it was just me, you, and one other person, opposed to now it's there's a specialist in every role. I think that's really cool. I love seeing that.
Yeah, the growth, I wasn't expecting this quickly. And it's I think it's just added such a platform now where there's so many people working on the business that it's just grown.
Can I do a wife thing?
Sure.
You just have a tiny little bit of thread on your nail.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I just saw it as you were talking. I was like, I've got to get that. Anyway.
Should you talk about first steps? So what did we do and why did we do it? Why did we go to AKG?
I think we went to AKG because, look, there was a lot of hesitation around where we went. I think we obviously been in real estate for just on 12 months. And we had a few conversations that we were having, and I remember genuinely being in Bali. So I remember when we flew to Bali and in my mind, we'd made the decision. I was like, we're AKG through and through. Like that's where we're joining. But I remember you had 2 or 3 conversations that were like, we just want a chance to pitch you. You're like, okay. And you're like getting off these calls in Bali, like it could be. And I just remember sitting there, like at whatever resort we're staying in, and I was like, Dan, we're joining AKG. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I just want to enjoy my holiday. Just pick a place and we're joining. But I think we joined AKG because they had so much potential. They were already leaders in their field, but it really just felt like to step in and go, okay, you really just need marketing support and you just need marketing structure. You need content, you need video, because everything else was done. It wasn't like we were stepping into this business where, the operations was maybe a bit of a shit show or, they had no idea what they were doing in sense of culture. They had all of that down pat. So it actually felt like the perfect pairing. I was like, Avi knows what he's doing. Rachel knows what she's doing. Like every other lead agent in there knows what they're doing. We're just coming in as like a super added benefit.
Yeah.
What would you think? Why would you think we joined?
Yeah. It was a huge business, which I liked from where we previously were. It was like another big jump again in terms of size and volume and amount of people. Like to have over 100 staff in one business and then for us to lead the growth and marketing of that was really exciting. I think it had all its systems, as you're saying, trust accounting, administration, you name it, all the associates and agents. It had everything. And it's like the one thing that we can really add is like marketing and media support, which we'll go into today. But it's like, I guess we looked at the social media as an example, and it was just tiles, like, which you see in a lot of businesses.
The social media excited me because I think I love the early stage of getting a business going in like a marketing sense. I don't know, it's a different kettle of fish, say if you work with a client or you work with someone that's been doing it for a while and they kind of just say, okay, Tia, we've been doing video content. This is our strategy. This is it. We just want you to do what we're doing. But I think a place like AKG, in our early stages was very like, look, we're not really adapting to social media as well as we could. We've given it a go. We've put some really cool things out there, but we just want you guys to like take the ball and run with it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like creative gates unlocked. It's like someone just being like, take over, do whatever you want. And I'm like, I think that's one of the most exciting things.
Yeah. And there's so much to market. Like you and I growing up used to look at people in real estate and how they market real estate. And like, that's so cool. Like people can market, let's say.
Not all the time.
Oh, not all the time.
Sometimes I was like.
The big players, I would say definitely they absolutely crush it. If you look at like, some people do some amazing ads. Like you look at Super Bowl ads, we were talking to them yesterday.
Yeah.
They're so cool, right? But I think real estate, what we found, especially in our area, it's like they're not hitting home on the really strong message of what a house does to a home, like to the people in it, to the stories of the people. And that's why, like, damn, this just gives us so much unlimited creativity to be creative. So let's get after it.
Definitely. I think you got a limited amount of creativity, and I think a lot of strategy can go into it. I think I say it often, and I've said it like time and time again, but real estate was the first business. Being in marketing for nearly 10 years, I think real estate's the first business that I've kind of stepped into, or industry, sorry, I've stepped into, where like your leads are so easily captured. Like your leads, you can go to ID for me, you could buy your data. You could, have agency data when you walk into. Most agencies you go to will have a lot of points of data. AKG has well over 500,000 points of data because they've been in the industry for so long. So once you've got all of this data, I think the interesting part about the marketing in real estate is you get to nurture the data. It's not essentially about lead capture. It's about nurturing that lead along the journey. And I think to get super nerdy in marketing, I think that's the best kind of marketing, because it's like you're not paying for attention or buying for attention. If you do it correctly, you've already got the attention. You now just need to nurture them to the conversion point. And that conversion point is super exciting. If someone's buying a home, that's an amazing conversion point to hit. That's super amazing. If someone's selling their home for whatever reason, that's a major life milestone. So I think the way we market it needs to be really innovative and connect really deep down to what people of Australia, I guess, and the Australian property market want to see and hear.
I totally agree. There's so much potential. There's so much to do in these sort of sense, like, which a lot of real estate agents say, like, hey, I'm changing lives, which in a sense is actually true. Like if you can actually get someone $50,000 to $100,000 more based on the efforts that you put in, based on the negotiations and your marketing capacity to actually help these people, people are walking away with a lot of money and they're going, wow, I'm so thankful that I worked with.
It's usually they're the people that are like, yeah, no, I love real estate agents.
Yeah, exactly.
People.
Exactly.
Okay.
So day one, right? We got back from a 6-week holiday, just to give everyone a little bit of
I'm looking at
context.
my notes because I was like, wow, we went on a digress then. Okay, 6-week holiday.
6-week holiday, Malaysia, Singapore, Bali. We then come back, and it's day one. We actually started at Arik for our first day, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, like our first, I think it was our second day we were at Arik.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So what is the plan for you, T? You walk into the doors with your marketing brain. You're like, okay, I've seen what you guys have available. I've seen that the marketing can probably go up a few levels. What are you saying to them? What's the plan?
Well, my first thing was I remember once we signed the contract and we were like, okay, we're at AKG. I actually remember the reason we extended our holiday to 6 weeks was because we were like, okay, well, let's just spend 4 weeks in Malaysia, getting creative on a space that's not home turf. Like, let's just go to cafes. Let's get creative. Let's explore the city at night. Let's look at the way someone else markets, which is a massive reason for Malaysia, if you look at why we did that. And I remember once we had locked in, it was AKG. I just remember dissecting everything they were doing. So I remember looking at all their stories, all their posts, all their videos, and just being like, okay, what am I going to do on day one? Like, what are my key takeaways that I'm looking from at their marketing and observing from an outsider? And the biggest thing was just like branding and formation was just, okay, they have a logo, which is amazing, but there's no like authority to it. It needs to be refreshed. I think that's one of the first things Avi had said to me. He said, Tia, I want to refresh the brand. And Avi's words were he wanted boutique marketing backed by big business. And he's the first person I heard ever say that. And now a lot of agencies and a lot of branches inside, whether that's Ray White, whether that's Harcourts, whether that's Remax, are all doing the same thing now. It's, boutique branding backed by big business. But Avi was the first person to say that to me. And I thought, okay, if you want me to redesign the logo, we're going to do it. So that's the first thing we did. We're redesigning the logo. We're selecting our custom typefaces. Everything had to be complementary to Ray White because Ray White is an amazing branding asset tool. They're an amazing big business. So the first step was, well, we just need to create something that's slightly understated, but extremely effective. And I think the new AKG logo holds that. What would you think? Do you like?
I agree. No, it's more premium, and I'm obviously biased opinion because you made it in front of me in like 20 minutes.
It wasn't 20 minutes. It wasn't 20 minutes.
No, not to understate what your work. It was, yeah, it needed obviously a refresh and to go to that more premium feeling. I think our agents, something that our agents can be proud of, and everyone a part of the business, like, yeah, we're happy to put this logo absolutely everywhere we go, even if it's a high-end luxury listing. Like a couple of agents we've seen just sold Roxanne for $5 million a development site the other day. So we're in that space. Another $2 million from a couple of guys down in the Daisy Hill office. So it's happening. There's $1 million offers and contracts that are happening for AKG, and it's cool. It's really cool to be a part of that sort of premium uplift.
I think we need to be able to translate in like all spheres. Like being obviously we have a Daisy Hill office, we have a Brookwater office, we have a Marsden office. If that ever expands its networks out further, which with Avi Khan at the helm, I guarantee it will.
For sure.
But I look at that and think our logo needs to translate in every type of market space. And I think the new logo does that really well. I think the second thing for me too was, and it was a massive thing, I remember sitting down with Avi and I was like, okay, we've done the logo rebrand now. We're training all of the VMAs, the virtual marketing assistants, and we need onshore people now. So these are the people we need. We need, a head of graphic design. We need someone to help us, fully understand and comprehend our new branding and to really push us. So that was when Chris joined.
Yeah.
And if I'm biased, I love a great graphic designer. I think a graphic designer makes a team. And Chris was extremely imperative to our growth over the last 12 months. We've now expanded that to a junior designer named Leo, who I think is just amazing. So again, we're just doubling down on that. If we look in the video aspect, we took on Sudev. We took on more and more people. We took on Jake for editing. Like there's all these people that joined the business that became experts in everything that we were offering, that the growth just like snowballed. I actually had a meeting with Rahul from ID for Me when we were in Melbourne. And he goes, how do you do it all? I said, well, it's not really me. Like, it's not really me. I've got a team of experts. I've even got someone Joe, who is our ad specialist, who runs all of the ads for all of our agents. It's seamless. Like you list a property. Hey, Joe, I've got $600 VPA. I need an ad on this property. She's like, but, done it. And in the early days, it was really hard to train Joe. I thought, I'm pulling my hair out going,
Yep.
I just want this to be over. I remember crying to you one day going, it's never going to be over, the training. And nowadays I'm like, oh, God, thank you, past Tia, looking after future Tia.
For sure. AKG and RV have built a business so well around making the agents the heroes, which I take a lot of like inspiration from. It's like, okay, how can we make our agents just be able to go out and there, do their thing, which is why you want to be a real estate agent. Is contacts, is a network, is to meet people, is to get in and sign deals, and then have a support crew around you that can do everything you possibly.
Yeah, we feel like the little oh my God, this is such a butchered like racing term, but I feel like the pit crew, is that what you call them?
Yep.
The pit crew, where you're like, zzz,
Yep, that's it.
taking
Yep.
off the tires, get out there, go. But sometimes it does feel like that. I feel like we're a pit crew, you know, the marketing department for you, being head of growth for RV, leading the charge in the industry for all of our agents. I feel like it's a really cool position to be in, to do a lot of the behind the scenes work and the groundwork and the grunt work to get these systems and these marketing processes up and running, because it just makes it so much easier when people join the business.
That's what you've been so good at, is building systems. And I think you and I know, you're the organized one and I'm this erratic talker. I'll talk to everyone all day, every day and get to know people. That's my thing. But your thing is, okay, systemization and growth. And if we actually do grow, which is what, Dan, you're doing, you're helping us grow the business, is that we need to be ready for that. And we need to make sure that our onboarding is good. And then you name it, every process after that. What happens when they list a house? What happens when they get a new DL designed? Like all this, I'm just like, you're all over it. And I think
that, okay, so when we spoke a couple of podcasts ago, we recommended a book called Surrounded by Idiots.
Yep.
And it basically talks about personalities. I would say that's naturally, and you would agree. Naturally, I'm a blue. Like, that's just my personality. I'm super, like, I have to be organized or I freak out and all those things. You're a yellow, which definitely is spontaneous more there. And I think it helps that a lot of the people in our leadership team are either blues or yellows.
Yeah.
I feel like some are reds, which is great.
Yep.
And it really flows together that we've got this nice collective because, you know, as much as I'm a blue and I like it organized, I've also got Avi, who's like a severe, he's a hybrid, but he's definitely got blue in him. And his whole blue thing is like, okay, we need to do X, Y, Z. And I feel like I'm like, yeah, you're so right. Like I can bounce off these people that know exactly where we're going in a marketing sense and in a growth sense, to be able to riff off those people and just like actually achieve some really great stuff.
Yep.
Because we've got teams and people and specialists that are like focusing on key roles.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important to know that we're like, what, 1% of this really massive ecosystem. We're playing our bit, but it's the amazing people, that the 100+ people in it that are all coming together on this really cool big wheel, I suppose, that's continually spinning on this big wheel that's continually spinning. I can't even say it. On this big wheel that's...
I just keep picturing hamsters. I'm like, are we hamsters in this scenario? What are we in this?
Yeah, so, okay, let's go back a little bit. So we've done that. We've moved in. We're
off the wheel?
We're off the wheel. I'm not even going to say it.
Okay. You're just trying to say that everyone plays their part in a massive project.
Exactly. Okay. We're a small cog in a watch. What's that?
Okay, got it.
So I guess the plan for us is there was a lot of quantity going out and we wanted to change that. We wanted to go, let's do quality over quantity until the quantity becomes quality. That was the saying we led off with. And we're at the point now, which is really cool, that our quantity is quality and we can back that. Our video team, our marketing is going to pull it all together. Definitely. And no matter what we create, we know it's going to be pretty good. There's always room for improvement and we can definitely want to go up another level. But at that stage, it was like, let's only post what's good and what's quality. Because at the moment, it's just all like just listers, just solds, and just like, well, I guess we gave no value to our audience, no value to our clients as to why they should follow the journey.
Yeah, I think it was all short shelf life content.
Yeah.
So it was just stuff that, you know, it's not going to last past the week because it's, you know, a graphic or a still. So I think we definitely focused on bringing that in. And we saw a massive return on that. I think the first 30 days was over 3,000 impressions. And we raised by over 284% in our engagement rate.
Did you say 300,000?
No, I said 3,000.
Yeah, 300,000.
Was it 300,000?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 3,000 is nothing. What?
No. 300,000 impressions.
I'm like 3,000. It was great. Everyone's like, oh,
Jeez, that's bad.
that's bad. It's the morning. When we record in the morning, it always throws my head out.
So yeah, the results are pretty crazy. So we changed a lot of the stills to videos. That was the big part of the goal. Is that way we can actually track like who's watching it, how many views we're getting. We could actually probably had more control of what works and what doesn't. I found with the post you get 1 or 2 likes, and they're probably from one of the business owners. And
Yeah, we wanted to really scale it back. So it was this thing of like, okay, what is working? And as we like pulled everything, let's say pulled it all off the shelf and slowly started adding it in. So we added video, and then we went in and added like sold videos, and then we added recruitment videos, and then we added campaign videos, funny videos. And then it's like, okay, now let's throw in some graphics. And I think we really got to test and measure what was performing well across our social channels. I think, look, if I'm being completely honest, I think we're about to go up a massive level again in this next 12 months. A lot of people say to me, oh, what have you guys done in the 12 months? And like everything we've seen's been great. And it's like, yeah, it has been. Like, look, it's been really great. And we've had a lot of adaptation from all of the agents. Everyone's jumped on board. But we're kind of at a point now where I think the last 12 months has been heavily system building and, kind of like chasing our tail a little bit. Just like, okay, let's get this content out there. We can't miss an opportunity. We want digital omnipresence. The next 12 months is like very strategically done. And whether that's across the media group or whether that's across the agency or the one conference, whatever it is, we've kind of tried and test what worked and didn't work over the last 12 months. That the next 12 months, I think, is going to have a massive improvement.
what, in your opinion, worked better than anything? If we look at the videos we made over the last 12 months, what gets traction and engagement in your opinion?
Action and engagement. I'm going to say look, I feel like a broken record when I say it, but authentic content. I say the content that we were being truly authentic in, or our agents were being truly authentic in, and they really showed their true self with a fine line of, like keep it adhered to the brand, has done really well. And I look at that across the board, whether that's the breakup movement campaigns that, were slightly on that tethering line of, is it cringe? Is it not? But it was just consumable, I think did really well. I look at some of Leighton's videos, I think did really well. I think the podcast, the Call Me Successful podcast is super authentic. If I, biasly look at yours and Lana's episode that dropped the other week, I think that was just, I actually sat in bed and like listened to the whole thing. And I thought, wow, that was so real and authentic. And if I even cut back to yours and Avi's first episode that you ran this season as well, it felt like, we've actually come such a long way from our very first podcast episode.
Podcasting it's actually really time consuming. So it's tough to stay consistent. You get it as well. We're obviously doing it. We're making 2 at this next few months. 2 podcast series that is Call Me Successful and Marketing with My Husband.
I feel like sometimes I wish I was on CMS rather than Marketing with My Husband. So CMS is like, all right, sit down, ask questions, leave.
Yeah.
Whereas Marketing with My Husband, it's like, okay, we've got to be research.
Yeah.
This is the first one and we haven't really even been researched. Yeah. We're just riffing on. And it's like, wow, it's been a journey.
Yeah, I think the podcast has been amazing for collaboration and meeting people. There's a lot of people I never probably would have met if it wasn't for that podcast. You sit in the room for half an hour, you have a conversation, then you've got 10 to 15 minutes to digress afterwards and really just get to know the person. Matt Sarama said it really well. It's like just killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like grabbing a coffee and then videoing it, and just why not? We're creating content for each other. We're catching up. We're getting to know the things that we care about and the things that are happening in our lives. Plus, we're providing value to a lot of people. I think that's the point of the podcast, right? Actually, had someone asked me the other day, like, why do you even do it? And it's really, at the end of the day, is people wanted to, when they listen to long form content, I believe anyway, they want to take away some sort of value, something which is a bit informative, something education out, if not a laugh, as an example. That's also value. If you look at, is it the Shameless crew? They're about a laugh and keeping it light.
Definitely. I love that you dropped Shameless as the podcast.
Yeah, Tia listens to Shameless. It's no secret.
I do.
But I think that's value as well. It's like it's entertainment, it's fun, it's having a laugh.
It's pop culture, Shameless. They give me all of the insight of everything that's happening, which helps me then in marketing. I feel like to be a good marketer, you have to stay relevant in what's happening in pop culture.
Yeah.
And I think Shameless is my, I think I consume a lot of content that's educational because I just never want to stop learning, because I feel like in especially today's day and age in marketing, it's like if you just dip out for 2 weeks, you're going to miss a lot. You're going to miss a lot of updates and a lot of things that could be happening. Whereas Shameless is that thing that I feel like I can listen to. It feels light, it feels real, but I'm also like slightly learning.
Yeah.
Like I'm notorious. I spoke to someone, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, but it's like I've actually never read a book is it fiction? What's it when it's not real? Nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
I've never read a book that's just like a made up story.
Yeah.
And like, you've got to do it. It's amazing. I'm like, yeah, but like I could learn about psychology or marketing or whatever. Why do I want to read a book about, Johnny and his wife and she's a vampire? I'm like, I don't want to read that. And everyone's like, you actually would be really surprised what it might do for your creativity.
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself to do it. So Shameless is like my naughty little thing that it's like, it's real and I'm learning, but it's like entertainment.
Yeah, love that. I'm currently reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's a Japanese book and it's actually non-fiction, which is my first ever. And I find that, yeah, you can kind of sink into the story, into how the depth of the story, like how deeply they're telling it. And it's like every chapter, there's like 4 chapters basically, and it's all telling a different story over 50 to 60 pages, and you get hooked into it. And I'm like, wow, it's like cuts you deep.
It's like you're marketing me to read a book that's not fiction. Maybe I will. Okay, where are we at in our story? So we're increased engagement. We've already really spoken about how we took on specialist roles. So we're over 12 people in our marketing department right now, which is amazing. Did you ever think that in 12 months we would get to, we're 12 people and we're about to take on one more for the media group. We've actually just taken on a very cool role in the media group and made some changes around, which I don't think we can talk about right now.
Can we?
I don't know.
I think we can.
Can we talk about that?
No.
We've hired a cinematographer. Do we just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to do some really cool things with our team coming up. So what's next? What would you say is next for AKG the next 12 months? What do you see happening?
I think this is the year of creativity for us. We now have all the systems in place. Everything is built for us to allow us to be creative. So the next thing is better storytelling, I believe, in our marketing. I want people to resonate more with the brand, more with our people. And when you work with AKG, what do you experience? And like, what does that actually, why do people reach out? Is they want to feel a certain way. And I think that's what we're going to connect without giving away all of our ideas at the moment. They'll be dropping in probably the next 3 to 6 months pretty heavily. Yeah. But I think with the new people and the new team, well, not the new team, but the growing team that we have, we can create some really special content, but ads that you'd see on the TV now ready to go on socials, which is pretty exciting. How about yourself? What do you see?
Well, you stole what I was going to say, but I would say the same. Just to add on to that, I would say highlighting our people more and their journeys and their stories like throughout the whole business. I think we've got some really amazing roles in our business. If we look at support roles like Annabelle in customer service and everything that she runs in that role and how integral that role is to our business, I would love to profile that a little bit more because I feel like when we meet new people and when they come into the business or we're doing study tours, people are like, oh, wow, you have a person that does that. I think even Holly, the latest addition to the leadership team, in data and innovation and all of this amazing prop tech that we have available to us, her role is extremely important. So I think highlighting a lot of our support and leadership team throughout social media, I think Kaylee said it really well the other day to us. And she said, you two have kind of just been like leading the charge at the moment. And I can see it. I can see a lot of our leadership team is like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to jump on socials. I'm ready to give it a go. So I think that's really exciting. It's kind of like the whole reason we do this podcast, the whole reason I put stuff out on social media, the whole reason you put stuff out on social media. We get the questions all the time. Why do you guys do it? It's just like we practice what we preach. We're not going to tell you guys to do all these things and how much growth it's going to get you and awareness it's going to get you, but not do it ourselves. It feels like a fraud.
It feels unauthentic.
Feels unauthentic for sure. So I think for me in the next 12 months, I'm really excited to see who adapts to it, what it does for the business, for their brand, for their career. If I could have it my way, there'd be a few integral people in our business that would either be doing a podcast or be doing some sort of regular content because they have a lot of insight to share that I think people would find genuinely interesting. So my massive goal for the next 12 months, and I've actually started a program with about 5 of our agents and support team that I'm going to roll out over about 8 weeks, but that's a social media accountability program. And that's going to be, you know, we're going to go out every fortnight. We're going to create content. They're going to invest in themselves in advertising. They've all been given commitments. They have to meet the commitments to be in this program. But it's a case study. I'm sick of hearing social media doesn't work or this doesn't work. I'm like, okay, who is game? 5 people, give me your commitment and let's do it. So I'm just super excited for, I guess, more of a collective effort in the next 12 months.
I think that's one of the biggest struggles we have is people saying, okay, well, I want to invest in social media, but do we have like a case study to show outside of you guys that, this actually works? And obviously there's so many case studies, there's thousands and thousands, but it's like, can we have maybe a micro look at a study of 5 people, as you're saying,
Yeah.
that are not influencers, they're just people that don't necessarily, they're not social media stars by any mean. I don't know who is or what is, but they're people having a crack. They want to build their business. They want to streamline their marketing. They want to get more awareness. And let's just see what it does for these people. So what is it, 8 weeks?
8 weeks. So I've been recently running even just a test with my own marketing. And in 6 weeks, basically gained about 600 new followers on my social platforms. I've connected with some really amazing people, even just through the podcast. So I think if I can do the same kind of foundations and steps that I've done for the last 6 weeks, I'd say with me, and apply that to these 5 people in their, in their brand, in their sphere, I think we're going to see some amazing results. And I actually really can't wait to come back and share that. I mean, if we don't see them, it'll just fade into the epiphany. We never ran the program. But no, I can guarantee that they're going to get some really great results. So I'm actually really excited to see that. I'm actually I mentioned it a few podcasts ago, but I'm super excited to see where the industry's going. I'm seeing more and more marketing people that are showing up on socials, that are creating profiles to show what they do behind the scenes. It's actually really exciting. I think if we take up the whole industry as a level and we really increase our social awareness, our marketing capabilities, our understanding of what marketing can do, not only personally and professionally, it's going to make it look, I sound super competitive, but it's going to make it fun. I think marketing's a bit of a sport and I want to be playing in the arena with the best athletes. So I'm like, let's go.
Love it. And you know what? On that, I think real estate, from my understanding anyway, and from what I've been in, is that it's changing. It's becoming now what business can provide the most support to their agents is going to attract agents. And in the real estate game, become an attraction business, as many other businesses, but becoming attraction-based office or agency is absolutely imperative. So nowadays, how can we show the support staff? How can we show the people involved in the business? That's what's actually starting to attract people to go, oh, wow, I didn't realize that they had a data person at AKG, or they had an ad specialist or a marketing team, or you name it, they do everything. So if we can actually tell the world what we have available humbly and just by being creative about
I
it.
think authentically, we're going to just show you, that we have, I would say, one of the most innovative principals in the industry that invest heavily into his people, I mean, tenfold, and that real estate really can be a super successful career with a lot of less stress when you join somewhere that completely lifts you up as an agent and you have this absolute safety net, this barrier. I think we've seen it with the last 3 agents that have joined AKG. It's incredible what I'm seeing and what they're doing compared to, a few years ago, an agent joining an agency. It's really exciting. And I like playing my small part in it, and I really look forward to Aric's in about 12 days, I think. So I really look forward to actually going to Aric again this year. So we obviously started last year at AKG. We went to Aric. I'm really excited for Aric this year because we met some great people at Aric last year that had said, oh, we'd seen your work and what you guys had done. You were played on the screen by, phantom person. But it was really good. So this year, I'm actually really excited to connect with all of the people we've connected with over the last 12 months and kind of catch up and be like, okay, what are you guys doing in your sphere? Like, what are you guys seeing is working? What do you feels not working? It's kind of like a nice little anniversary to be like, okay, We're going again. Another
Yeah.
12 months. What are we gonna see?
It's going to be a big year. Really looking forward to the next financial year. We should probably start with. Yeah, big things coming. And I think we're definitely going to take it up a level, and we're looking forward to that. And as you said, being competitive is great. We want to see the industry rise as well, which is going to make us better. We've got so much to work on as well.
So much to go.
So much to go. And there's some elite players out there. And I think maybe there's some elite marketing people, which have
Definitely.
been behind the scenes that haven't really showed themselves.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to be like, okay, cool. What's
Get
your
amongst it.
processes? What are you doing? What do you think, Eddie? What do you think for the? He's like, I'm done.
I've had enough.
End it. Well, thank you for listening to Marketing with My Husband.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Marketing with my husband.